Welcome to Ottawa and welcome inside TD Place Arena on this final day of the PWHL regular season. A massive battle of Ontario to determine who will take the final playoff spot. For Toronto, there's only one way: win in 60 minutes. For the Charge, it's a win or push to overtime as Turnbull gains the zone for a shot on Phillips. In quick is the captain. Now the Sceptres did put up 42 shots on Ottawa back on April 11th. When the Charge with 18, it was Ottawa that won that game 2-0.
What a start for Toronto. Great scoring chance already, and Blair Turnbull.
Connors in the slot with a shot. Bit of a scrummy face-off, but Toronto still in Ottawa's end. Jenner trying to shake off the pressure of Malte. Riley looking back. And these teams have traded wins and losses in their meetings up to this one. Wozniewicz takes it all the way, and loses an edge at an awkward time. Makes contact with the end boards. Ottawa from distance. Riley will put it in the glove. In the defensive zone, it's fast up to Dalton. Dalton had a big 2-point game against Ottawa in Calgary for a 2-1 win over the Charge. It was a big game. Razova in the zone. Shot stopped. A quick follow-up by Katarova. She's been electric. She's got 2 goals in this series alone. Dalton, after a blocked shot, puts it on Phillips to make it 3-1 in terms of shots early in this game. We are 2 minutes just about into this game. Sceptres have taken their shots. And now a chance for Ottawa, blocked by Shelbin. Still in the zone, out comes Comfer this time. Comfer dumps it, Watts to get in behind, but the Charge in control. Savalainen leading Ottawa's defensive scoring.
Danielle, I think we were looking for a low-scoring game in these two teams, but based on the scoring chances so far, we might be wrong.
This is their 16th meeting. In the first season, it was actually Ottawa that had Toronto's number. In comes Zanin. Zanin coming off a strong game despite the shutout overtime loss to New York on Tuesday. In come the Charge! Oh my, they score! Finally, the whistle blows.
The puck never crossed the goal line. We have no goal.
There you have it. Of course, fans aren't going to like that, but it is the right call. Well, in between these two teams, the one who scores first most often wins as Leslie winds up, gets a piece of Kirk. Jenner in the far corner, Van Weeren digging in. One of these two teams will close their season today. Dalton, and the puck goes into the crowd. Another draw in Toronto's end. Flanagan looking for some help, double teamed. Quick touches. Turnbull got her stick on it. Now Brooke Hobson, first time back in the lineup since March 22nd. That was when they played in Winnipeg. She was injured in a practice after that, an upper body injury. She is back in time for this one. Of course, will be ready to go in playoffs if needed.
Well, Haley Irwin says she'll get limited minutes because she hasn't been in the lineup in a month.
And the Sceptres with possession fast. Quick to throw it towards Phillips. In comes Connor. She gets twisted up. Puck stripped off Zanin's stick. Fast. And for some space, banks it off the glass. Fast again with a touch. A little back and forth in the neutral zone. Razova Looking for room, brings it into the high ice. To Riley this time. Riley with a shot, gets a piece of Kirk. Goes to the near wall.
That's a smart shot. She knew she had Brooke McQuaig coming in on that back door, so just looking to shoot and see if you can get a touch in.
17th game as an Ottawa Charge player for McQuaig, Cava, Greco. After the trade from Vancouver. Vasco. Quick touch. Savannah Harmon. Vancouver will play in the third of this quadruple header Saturday. This is the next game, and they're in the chase for goal plan points, so a lot on the line for all teams. Vasco was leading her team in hits for the bulk of the season. It's been overtaken by Gilday, but still some impressive work from the fourth liner, and a nice play from Jenner to Leslie, but offside the call. Markowski in the neutral zone. Flips it deep for Leslie, getting in on Flanagan. Leslie, of course, a former Sceptre, played there year one. But the Ottawa native, I mean, it's hard to believe she played in any other colors. Nice move to maintain possession. Turnbull on Phillips, and it's loose. Oh my, Dalton coming in. Looking to make good on that. So we've seen looks on either side. A goal disallowed as well. Scoreless here early in Ottawa. Remarkable, a team that could not find a way to win beyond regulation in season one, struggled in season two, turned it around then, and then this year has been exceptional beyond 60. And that could be key as well in the playoffs, as a number of playoff games go to overtime, including all 4 in the final series last year.
Of course, that's 5-on-5 overtime, so you're looking at a little bit of a different beast, but and the way you feel and the nerves are the same.
Comfort in the zone, a good stick from Clark. Brings it back behind the net, a battle for it, a touch from Mrazova. Cava looking for options. Finds space with the far wall through the middle for Kirk, but Harmon quick to it. Crowd has certainly settled down. Pressure goes into the far corner. The Rock in the mix for Ottawa. Another former Sceptre who's been on both sides of this battle. Flanagan! Oh my, was looking to send it down. Van Wieren. Closest net front, now Dalton. There, Dalton broke a big goal and point drought when she scored against Ottawa and Calgary, and Malte turned around. Connors in the high slot, tries to dangle. Another big play from Mrazova.
Bit of a problem early on for Ottawa. Those turnovers coming out of their zone, so tough management.
A loose puck, Vasco to it, brings it in the zone. Shelton staying with her. Stride essentially now steered into that far wall. Out comes Shelton. 2 years as the New York Siren. Ella Shelton has not seen the postseason. She'd love to change that here.
With the puck through the neutral zone, just waiting for someone to widen out and get open. So sometimes you look at your transition, you want quick puck movement.
Oh, Spooner!
It's the support as well. It's not just the person with the puck, but it's players supporting the puck.
Yeah, off a top play. She was able to get that shot on Phillips. Spooner back in it. Gentry getting handled there. And from distance coming in, Shelbin is trying to close the space as well. Emma Woods. No room to go. Greco. Some solid defense. Another block. Gentry now in the far corner. Plenty of time in the zone. Can they make it count? Shelbin through traffic. And the Charge stave up another push.
And that's a nice fourth line shift from that group for Toronto. It's a big group. They're very physical, so when they get that puck down low, they can do some real damage. So it takes its toll when you're playing that kind of physicality in the corners. Ottawa able to get that puck out though and get off.
Gilday for Leslie. He sends it deep. Jenner in on the hunt. Harmon with some quick moves gets the puck back herself. Over to Watts this time. Offside. Turnbull went from taking the most draws for Toronto to none the last 2 games, but a bad net front. Comfort's there. Watts on her knees, back up on her skates. Held to the far corner, tries to kick it out. Somehow the Sceptres again grab hold. This time Comfort with a feed to Turnbull. Held up by Gilday. Kuznevic and Savalainen. Just over 10 minutes into the first period, still scoreless in Ottawa. All 8 teams in the PWHL play today. First time that these two have played this close geographically as the road team for the Sceptres. Last time it was Calgary, and then it was Edmonton before that. I know a few fans who are excited to come out, rally the team on here.
Not that far a drive, depending on what part of Toronto you're in. 3.5, 4.5 hours.
And it's starting to feel like spring, real playoff hockey time right now. The Rock at the point for Hemp. Hemp with a shot, blocker save Kirk.
Hughes takes some punishment in front of that net. Shelton takes her down. She was looking for a penalty, but this one seems to be called like a playoff game right now, so these are 2 very physical teams. We know that.
Katarova zips it across for Kava. Up the right side into the slot. Harmon sends it back in the neutral zone, but Katarova eyes to the net, drives, takes it all the way around. Now for Hobson. Hobson, patient, takes the shot. It's wide.
This is a line for Ottawa that I'm really curious about. They seem to have some really good chemistry with Mrazova, Katarova, and Kava. And I really just feel like it's a matter of time before they start to connect.
Ottawa right now leading the way in hits, 6-4. House goes down, no call on that.
Ottawa able to isolate.
Oh, but Hobson, Connors was looking to take it away. A bit wily out there.
That was a good stick. It might have been a little lucky, too. Toronto was going to be off to the races in behind Ottawa. Hobson gets a stick on that puck. My goodness.
Connors puts it ahead. Zannon. Over to Connors once more. She'll try a sharp angle. Good stick from Phillips to keep it out. Holding the blue line. Not quite. Offside, and that'll do. 7:36 remaining in the first period. Shots 9-6 for the Sceptres. Still scoreless in Ottawa. Well, we already have the first outcome of the first game in the quadruple header. Boston defeating New York 4-0 after being well outshot through the first period and a half. 1 point, 21-3. Big push from the Fleet. Now, if Montreal loses in any fashion, Boston clinches first.
And what's on the line is that first place team gets to pick their playoff opponents. So one of these 2 teams could be the team selected. Minnesota, who is going to come in 3rd place with the other option. So I don't know if I'd be taking Minnesota, though.
Oh, so much. Yeah, they're back-to-back Walter Cup champs, and they've done it as the lowest seed before. A big collision, Leslie and Shelton.
This game's got some potential, I think. It's getting physical already. Got a couple big hits in front of the net. Leslie, who got her stick up on that last one. So the referee's setting the precedent right now in terms of, I don't know what you're going to have to do to get a penalty in this one. It's going to have to be pretty egregious, I would say.
Spooner, quick to it, pressed up against her former teammate, Larock. Hughes, kept to the outside by Woods. Seems the matinee matchup as well. Becky favors the energy and the physicality between these two. We've talked about both teams being loose and excited, but that's more so in some ways than I've ever seen. Clark Along the left side, slices through two Sceptres. Oh, a heavy collision.
Connors behind the net, takes a hard one.
Just back up on our own power. Sceptres in the zone, kick save. Rebound, Cava. He tries to pop it up to safety.
Phillips again. She has come up big this period. That wasn't an easy save. She kicks that right pad out.
The Sceptres had 42 shots on her last time, but they weren't necessarily all high danger. Hobson.
No, they've been getting the danger looks in this game that I haven't seen in a few games from them. Certainly not their last game, the 0-0 game that they lost in overtime. So a little different look. I've liked how much more quickly they've been transitioning pucks than they did last game.
Toronto has an opportunity here to eliminate teams in back-to-back games. What a flex that would be. Of course, punch their ticket to a third straight postseason.
Not a position Toronto's been in. They've had their ticket punched the last 2 years.
Well, top 2 team. First overall in year 1, top seed, and then
second place last year coming into playoffs. So yeah, a little different feel for them this year.
And those clinched games coming with enough time to really know what was ahead. Now Toronto in their own end. House out on the ice, held up along the wall by Fast. Jalmerson. She's kept off the puck. Now Van Wieren. Sending it ahead for Dalton. Quick change for the Sceptres. This was Nevich. The short feed for Jenner.
Jenner with a nifty little move behind that goal line.
Turnbull had it, but Leslie takes it away. Cross ice. Riley. Down low was Nevich there below the goal line. She's taken into the boards by Shelton. Turnbull needs to get creative to get this puck out. Comfort. Shelbin looking to feed the captain. Here's Watts, but another offside call. You and Pounder ever play against each other?
We did.
Okay.
We did, although the hardest hit I ever took was from Collins Historics, who again was a key partner of mine with Team Canada. She was playing out in Calgary, and
oh boy.
When I was in Toronto and she was in Calgary again, no friendship there till you were off the ice, so we'll leave it on the ice though.
Stories to tell. Flanagan. In comes Wasnevich. Wasnevich with the back pass for Leslie. Loose puck. Kirk able to track it. Toronto wins the draw. Sent cross ice for Connors. He flips it ahead. Fast is there. Shelton to the outside, and Greco going to go one-on-one here. Nifty play by Maltais. She's able to keep the puck. Threw it off the side of the net. Kiara Zanin, the rookie, digging in.
A new line formation for Troy Ryan here too. He wants some speed with this group.
Zanin getting ahead of the veteran Jenner.
So Zanin, Connors, and Maltais. So certainly speed on this unit. If they can get pucks in deep and get on the forecheck, I think it could be pretty dangerous.
Big pass for Cava. Cava manages to get the shot off anyhow. Toronto trying to clog up the slots. Savalainen. Nice shot, looking to create a bounce, and Cava back below the goal line. Gilday to the point this time. Savalainen looking to set Cava up at the top of the circle. Mrazova shaking off the pressure. Options up to Gilday this time. Gilday loses the puck. Connors trying to grab hold. Clara Van Wieren. She can't find space. Now Flanagan, a minute 25 to go here in the first period.
Riley looked like she was just giving that the icing skate. If I go to it slow enough, will they call it? But the officials weren't going to fall for it. So Toronto now with the zone time. You might want to get to that puck in a little bit more of a direct line.
We're approaching the final minute here. Loose puck. Kate Riley. Going to get it out of harm's way. Hughes for Clark. And now a foot race between Clark and Fast. Fast with just a slight edge on the position. Keeps it to the boards. Turnbull in the mix. Turnbull leading shot so far in this game at 3. Watts as well, but where Hughes nearly pulls it off the wall, and now Turnbull can get going. 38 seconds to go here. Turnbull turns. Shot blocked by Riley. Point blank as well. Now Gabby Hughes with all kinds of room. Sends it across. Hemp. Shot blocked by Watts.
Hemp took a stick handle on that puck, and I think she'd just catch and release and get the shot off. She may have had something on net. But Riley breaking up the play at one end of the ice and then jumping into the rush and driving the net to open that pass up to Hemp. So really nice shift from her.
Impressive showing. 5 seconds left. Shelton with the puck. And that's how we'll close the first 20. No goal shots, 11-10. Ottawa had to jump on the possession off that face-off to open the middle frame. Shots fairly even, 11-10 through the first period. For the visitors, no penalties. And one has already been a physical game. We heard Alexa Vasco talk about it.
And that just plays right into the way Vasco plays. She loves to throw the body play, a really physical game. Seen that from her. She's a hard player to play against. You know you're going to get punished. You're going to pay a price. You're going to take some body.
Watts in the zone. Malte comes off the bench. The Rock. And to steer it to safety, Jenner in on the battle as well. Zanin trying to get it away from Riley. Harmon at the point. Now Malte. Off the backhand, send it down for Zanin, but out come the charge. Jenner. Leslie streaking down. Oh my! The reason those two have connected so many times, the most in the league. Malte, a 2-on-1 across for Zanin. Oh! Not the shot she wanted. And Zanin has been part of so many rushes lately.
Well, and this time she's the recipient of the 2-on-1 pass. That pass is just a little bit too far behind her. Saw that last game. She was on some 2-on-1. Zanin making the pass across. Again, the pass was in behind, so you want to keep those good scoring opportunities. You've got to go tape to tape.
Shelton on the left side. Her pass interrupted. Cavo rushing to the puck. Fast there first. Sceptres try to bring it in zone instead the charge. Keeping it out of reach for Van Leeuwen. Van Leeuwen wrapping up her rookie regular season campaign. Down goes Katarova.
That made her go down.
In Toronto territory, Flanagan flips it ahead. Now Watts has it along the left side over to Comfort. Plays it back for Watts. The point. Harmon. Turnbull was trying to find her way to the slot.
Harmon was looking to try to hit Turnbull as she came in from that side.
Toronto has not scored at even strength in 3 games. They had 2 power play goals in the game before their shutout loss to New York on Tuesday. Another offside. Jenner. Jenner somehow slices through the Sceptres. Still finds a way in close on Kirk. Leslie. Goes at the goal, below the goal line. Spooner's there, and Shelbin. Leslie just as fast. Looking for Jenner. Those two just seem to do it all, Becky. Not just the scoring, but even off puck.
A little bit of doing your research going into the draft and a little bit of luck, I think. Just what player is going to be able to make that step up from college hockey.
Fast. Now here comes Mrazova. He's looking for Kava. Katarova's there. What a shot from Hobson, and it's loose. Mrazova looking to bury it. Oh my, they score! Panuza! Katarova! Buries it for the check. the season.
Oh my, she continues to be good. The steal of the 6th round, Vanusa Katarova out of Russia. Johnny on the spot on the back door. I don't know how she got this one past Shelton. Shelton is right there trying to get the block, helping out Kirk. Kirk can't get to the post. Katarova is still able to bury that puck with the fans. Ottawa takes the 1-0 lead. You know, she came into the draft, her and Shohina, the two players out of Russia. Nobody really knew a whole lot about them, so it was a real mystery in terms of what you were going to get. Shohina with some good skill, I think a big upside, and then certainly Katarova with just an outstanding first year in the league.
45th overall, now up to 13 points on this season. A 1-0 lead for the Charge. Katarova now with 3 goals as well against Toronto in this series. Comfer has Watts. No too hot on the pass, so Savalainen sends it to the point. Flanagan returns it down and just mistimed with the captain.
Oh, there's the response for Toronto. They got 2 of their top forwards on a 2-on-1. They can't connect.
Well, how about this? Before the flurry we just saw in front of Kirk, Ottawa had no shots in 4 minutes. Shot deflected by Shelton. Fast and Shelton connect, and we have our first power play on the way. Depending what happens here, off goes Kirk. It'll be 6-on-5. Toronto could equalize here. They didn't have any goals in their last game on Tuesday, but before that, 2 power play markers, one from Harmon and one from Watts. Watts cross ice, but no one there. Shelton in the neutral zone. Toronto on the power play. They're down by 1. Watts brings it in. Turnbull heading net front. Comfort far corner. For options, Turnbull. Back up to Watts at the near point. Down to the captain. Turnbull. Looking for options. Cross for Shelton. Just enough time for Leslie to close in. Riley as well. Fast and Watts. Watts. Floated down for Turnbull. The rock. Rims it. Fast will get there. Holds the zone. Watts in the high slot. Here's Spooner. She's held to the outside. Left circle. Malte. Fast. Connors. Puck goes by. Malte. Plenty of time in the zone. No shot to show for it. Connors. 25 seconds remaining in this first power play of the game. Fast. He will thread the needle. Now Shelton shoots off the pad. Rebound skips over the stick of Malte. No clear. Flanagan lets loose. Steered aside by Phillips. 7 seconds to go here. Malte. She sends it to the middle, and who else but Jenner is there? Of course, a tired Charge team, but a great penalty kill.
Well, a lot of zone time for Toronto, but most of that to the perimeter. They finally started to get a shooting mentality at the end.
They're still in the zone right now. We're at even strengths on the rock. Going to chip it out. A good move by Malte. She's kept to the outside. Turns and fires. Oh my! Booner was right there. And so the puck sails.
Thinks it's because they don't put enough pressure on their opponent in the offensive zone.
Watts gets it out. Turnbull with a stick on it. Baskin at the point. Back up to the captain as she tries to take it around. Vasco. Putting on the speed. Will chip it to Kirk instead. Go for a change. We got Kava, Mrazova. And this line out for the Charge.
Gwen Phillips with another quality save. She's so good and so quick down low that I think if you get in tight, you've got to go upstairs on her.
Katarova in the zone. Mrazova with the shot. Rebound loose. Katarova, oh my, that time kept out. What a play. It was Harmon keeping the puck away. Jalmerson looks towards the net, shot high into the mesh. A flurry of activity from one end to the other, but Venuza Katarova makes it count with the first goal of the game. Fast the draw, taken to the end boards by Cava. Looking to equalize here in the middle frame. Van Weeren sent it towards the net. Spooner twisted up. Spooner hasn't scored in 15 games, but she does have a game winner against Ottawa this season.
She's playing with a little bit more limited ice, only 7 minutes last game. On the fourth line right now, but if she gets an opportunity net front, you know she's got the hands.
Fast turns and shoots. Now Harmon, far side, collects the puck. Katarova there, close out her lane. Mrazova, who had the... Of course, trends go out the window when you've got a lot on the line from distance. Flanagan. Shelton down for comfort. Savaline back behind the net, banks it off the boards. Comfort up to collect. Shelton signaling to send it up ice. Shelton takes the contact from Gilday. Watts to the point. Flanagan fires back. Comfort down low. Turnbull taking to the corner as well. Jenner looking to retrieve. Got a loose stick causing chaos as well. Out come the charge. Leslie gains the zone. Burke will cover. I've been to Thunder Bay. I've seen the Sleeping Giant. Okay, well, if she's going to bring versions, I would like to try one. That sounds delightful.
I'll take one too, and I have not been. I have not heard of it, and I've never eaten one, but I'm going to take your word for it. If it's good, I'm in.
Let's do a takeover tour at Thunder Bay. Right now, though, Zanin into the zone. Jenner off the boards. Connors takes it in the middle, but can't find a way to pass it. Does that time for Zanin. Again, finding herself with little room is Emma Greco with the smothering defense. Greco, who's won a Walter Cup with Minnesota year one.
I like that addition to this team, too. She gets overlooked sometimes, but she just plays a solid game, and you need that kind of depth defender if you're going to make a run again in the playoffs during games like this.
Pass taken to the end boards by Wisnevich.
She's taking a bit of a beating today. You know she's going to play big minutes, so when those minutes are hard like that, it becomes more and more difficult.
And another heavy contact. That will draw a penalty, and so Toronto will head to the power play yet again.
That's a huge clear for Ottawa right away to get that line change. They get Jenner and Leslie on the ice.
Power play brought to you by Royale Tiger Towel Paper Towel. Connors. Malte, now Spooner around the net looking for a wraparound effort for a way into the postseason. Malte just wide. Harmon. The pressure from Leslie. Cross ice pass disrupted, but Malte tries to fire around Gilday with a great block. Gilday leading the way in block shots from the point this time. Flanagan gets the puck back. Malte over to Flanagan once more, shrinking the zone. Net front, loose puck. Spooner's there. She's pushed off it. A minute down in this power play. Harmon winds up that. They win the draw. 53 seconds to go. 5-on-4. Toronto's second power play. Fast down for Comfort. Turnbull looks for a way in. Comfort trying to bat it, even in earlier seasons as well. Shelton to Watts. Watts puts it there for Turnbull. Tries to grab hold of the rebound. And
definitely more of a shooter's mentality on this power play from both units from Toronto. They've been more willing to put pucks on net.
About 15 more seconds on the power play. Can they make something happen now? Not a flow rock. Takes you into the wall. Riley. A play out. Shelton. For a way past Clark. Can't find it. That'll do for another good penalty kill. But Shelton lets loose. It's up high. Phillips gets a piece of it in the glove. Shelton, one-timer fired wide. Fast, we're back to even strength. She zips it across. Watts brings it in. Watts with a shot. Kept out by Phillips. Still in the zone. Watts looking for another way. Comfort was net front, but was Nevich. Plays it to the middle. Van Weeren there. Hounded by Vasco. Nearly loses the puck. Well, they did all they could on that power play, adding to their shot tally, but it's a big physical game, and Ottawa in the lead. And she has a winning record overall, and obviously why Ottawa's to this point, but when you consider her 42nd start, she has 24 wins to 18 losses. That just includes everything, regulation and otherwise. Really impressive stuff. Olympic champion this year as well.
I don't think anyone was surprised when she became that backup goalie for Team USA.
Hobson finds a way to Kirk. Sends it wide to the far side. Savalainen at the point. Wasnevich pressed to the wall. I mean, this is an Ottawa team, too, with plenty of playoff experience, despite expansion changing the look and feel for so many of these teams. Just the addition of Michaela Cava alone, two-time Walter Cup winner.
Well, she's won just about everything she's ever played in, I think, Michaela Cava. So when you get into these big games, you need players like that have got a lot of big game experience to keep everything calm, continue to play their game. They don't get eaten up by the moment.
Brooke McQuigg as well was big, and oh, that's a nasty stick for Jenner. Of course, not intentional.
Well, you know, here in Ottawa, they like to get on the officials. They have no problem with that.
The crowd truly has its own personality. I mean, every crowd does, but Ottawa's, they're special in their own way. You consider, the crowd that got us through an hour-long ice delay, all of that. Clark looking for a way in. Oh, it pops out. Another chance, kick save. Shelton can't steer it to safety. As Clark brings it back. Clark doing it all, and somehow again kept out. Hemp to the point. Laurent. Now this time for Hughes. Flanagan gets there first. Comfort gets a touch from the point. Laurent with the shot. Pat save. Oh my! This is wild. Charge. Morazova with the touch. Katarova. Now Cava. She gets hounded. Riley. One-timer. Morazova. Great block from Shelton. Keeping this a one-goal game, but the Charge having some fun here. Riley. For Laurent. She zips it down. Plenty of possession time. Riley. Around the right circle. Sharp angle shot. Kirk. Again, it's Toronto that desperately needs to close it out in 60. Overtime does nothing. We'll see what happens to their strategy if they come through without a goal here in the middle frame. Dalton drives the net. Phillips. Puck is still alive. Here's Harmon.
Phillips again strong on that near side on that post. Toronto looking to put up 2 goals in this one, and a team that's averaging 1.75, so it's going to be a task for them.
Run and shoot Van Weeren. Spooner. Especially because if it's a tie game, obviously Ottawa doesn't need to pull a goaltender or do anything like that. And they wouldn't anyhow. But Toronto might. That's Gentry with a great look in the slot. Under 2 minutes now in the second period. Toronto's had 2 power play opportunities. Nothing to show for it. Dalmerson. Woods in the glove of Phillips. A clean win for Malte. They're looking for room. But Gilday will bank it off the glass. And Zanin trying to get a touch. She goes down in front of the benches. Charge. Riley for Cava off the glass.
And Hughes with some room. He tries to pull. Emma Malte with another good back check.
Cava with a chance. Assisted by Michaela Cava, her 8th helper of the season. Here they are in Toronto territory. Fast. Bring it out with Watts. She can't corral the puck. Turnbull. Gonna work it off the wall. Mrazova for the charge. Adarova patient with the pass to Mrazova. Mrazova trying to pull as well. Harmon disrupting. Turnbull. It's a lucky bounce. 33 seconds to go. Turnbull across for Gunther. Fast in front. And the puck goes by Turnbull. Harmon at the point. 25 seconds to go. Watts turns and shoots. Big save from Phillips. Fast collects. Tries a sharp angle shot. This time the charge. Head the other way. Leslie. 10 seconds to go. Rebecca Leslie shoots. A big save from Kirk. 5 seconds left. Can they get another shot off? Wozniewicz will try. Blocked. And so Ottawa heads into the locker room with a 1-0 lead through 2 periods. For one of these teams, it's the final 20 minutes, possibly more. Of course, if it does go beyond regulation, but still, it'll be the final time they'll play with this group. More changes incoming for the PWHL. As Fast drops it back for Comfort. Comfort with the shot, it's up! A big hit on Phillips. Well, let's call it a crash. There's no call. Fast sends it down. Now Shelton trying to get that loose puck in towards the net. Another big crash, that time with Turnbull.
You got a goaltender playing this well. You need to go to the front of the net, that's for sure. So it looks like maybe Toronto's trying to take her off her game. Turnbull gave her a little bit of a bump as well, so surprised it wasn't a call.
Jenner off the bench. Kick save from Kirk. Play from Malte, take it away by Jenner. She feeds it to House. She scores! Sarah Wozniewicz makes it 2-0 for the Charge.
Turn of events as Toronto gets the initial shot, and then Renata Fast with the elbow to Phillips. No call. Phillips gets up. She gets hit again by Turnbull as well. But how about this? What a beautiful feed, and then the hands of Sarah Wozniewicz. We talked about her and what they've gotten out of her in the draft. Just a spectacular rookie season and some great finish.
7th goal of the season for Sarah Wozniewicz, a player who has come in clutch, and in so many ways that's exactly what this is, to create that early separation here in the 3rd period. Of course, Jenner, how tremendous she has been.
She's found a real home here on this top line as well, as she spent most of the season here with this group, off and on, but to play with the legs of Brianne Jenner, that was just a really nice feed. She's got some really great hands as well. She settles that one in, and Wozniewicz.
Fast looking to shake things up. Back to scoreboard. They were shut out on Tuesday. 6 shutout losses on this season. That, of course, is shown by their lack of goal scoring as well in this stretch here in April. Wozniewicz's 7th goal, Brianne Jenner's 14th helper. Moves the captain up to 26 points in what is her 30th game of the season.
Toronto does have one 3rd period not that long ago, but they did put up 3 goals. They beat Seattle 5-2 late February after the Olympics at 3 in the 3rd. So it's, again, not impossible, but seems awfully daunting for this team right now.
Torrent are sitting currently in last place, and they're fighting for draft order points in order to lock in the 1st overall pick today. Vancouver is up next, hosting Minnesota, and then it'll be Montreal in Seattle. And the Victoria have a lot to play for. They want 1st. Now House over to Katarova, looking for her 2nd of the game.
2-on-1 to the net front. What an opportunity.
Watts trying to find Jalmerson, but instead McQuigg will send it deep in the zone. Vasco's there in the far corner. It is now or never for the Sceptres. They have to win in 60 if they're going to stay alive and head to the postseason for the third straight year. For Ottawa, this would be their second time making playoffs.
Rory Gilday just backed off the line right there. So smart play. You got a 2-goal lead. You don't need any pinches that are going to cost your team. You certainly don't want to give up odd player rushes unnecessarily.
Official was in the way there of Jalmerson's retrieval from the puck earlier, but now Jalmerson pressed against the boards again. Gentry sends that one there, and there's the cover. Both of Ottawa's goals in this game coming within the first 5 minutes of the period. Katarova scoring at 4:08 in the middle frame. Leslie moves around the boards. Kirk comes out to play. Shots 30-27 for the Sceptres. Zanin in the zone. Kiara Zanin off the backhand, a little feed across, was looking for Connor. The chance, a wraparound. By the way, a secondary assist was added to the Katarova goal that opened things up. Brooke Hobson in her return after missing 7 games. Harmon, puck finds Fast with a shot, another stop from Phillips. 2-0 was the score the last time these teams met. Also for the Charge. Charge have not been a recipient of a power play opportunity yet in this game. Dalton, he's in on the right side, puts it off the inboard. Van Wieren on Phillips, but Katarova flips it into the neutral zone.
A lot of bad angle shots. If they catch Gwyneth Phillips cheating at all, which she has not yet, they may catch her on one. She has been solid, just making sure she's on that post.
Clark over to Hemp, now Hemp in the far corner. Clark looking to dig in. Clark having never missed a single game with the Charge. Only player on that team who's played every game with this team. She has gone through the ups and downs. Riley below the goal line. Hughes trying to bring it into the slot. Up to the outside. This all benefits Ottawa, the team where time is not the issue. If the Sceptres manage to tie it, Ottawa still heads to the playoffs. If it goes to overtime.
Well, and they're all aware of that, including Gwyneth Phillips, who waited to smother one of those pucks. And Toronto had the opportunity down low. She knows she's just trying to eat up minutes.
Jenner in the center round. Wozniewicz with a nice feed. Leslie off the backhand. Stopped by Kirk. This is the line. We talked about them for a reason. They've been fantastic. Jenner manages to get into the middle.
Well, and that's part of the reason. There's a lot of skill on this line. But you watch them on the forecheck, they rotate very well. There's always pressure on the puck, so it's hard for Toronto to break out against them as well. When they do get the puck, there's a lot of skill, ability to score, all 3 of them.
Here's Fast. Fast drops the shoulder, brings it in, can't get the shot up, does draw the penalty, and so the Sceptres will get their 3rd power play when we return. Can this finally be the difference? A holding call on Ottawa, but it is the home team with a 2-0 lead after the latest by Sarah Wozniewicz.
And then in all honesty, it'll be Toronto pulling the goaltender if they can tie this one up.
This is a big 2 minutes here because Ottawa's kill has been so effective. And if they can just keep the time ticking down, of course it plays into them. The Sceptres team struggling to score. Connors looking to break the narrative. And break the scoreboard open too, as down goes Connors, and a good clear for Gilday. 1:30 to go here. This power play brought to you by Royale Tiger Towel. Paper towel, power through tough messes. Malte for Spooner. Spooner comes in. Good shot. Sent to the far side. Fast, quick to it.
That shot had some pace on it.
It's the Toronto team that has never missed the postseason. think back to the 2 games where Kirk was out injured and they could have grabbed a point here and there. There's so many moments in a season you could look to. But the fact that they weren't able to close games out in overtime also hurt them.
Well, it's a big difference between these 2 teams. We're neck and neck in the standings, that Ottawa was able to win those overtime games and Toronto just was not.
Turnbull back for Comfort. Turnbull goes into the corner. The Rock and Hughes keeping it at a stalemate. 30 seconds. Again, an effective penalty kill here from the Charge. Harmon down for Spooner. 16 seconds left. Player advantage, and Phillips has it locked in. An early goalie pull if the Sceptres can gain some. There has to be, because there is no time but now. Trying to keep that season alive. Kirk comes out to play the puck, and another good penalty kill. So Toronto, the only team that has had the power play in this game, not once, not twice, but 3 times, and still no goals to show for it. It is tough to play in this building, a building they have not been in since January of last year, and you have to think of so much has changed. Kirk's first ever start as well in this building.
It's a tough building to play in with the boards as well. Toronto took a little bit of time in practice to work on that, the bounces off the boards, but you know, the fans are sitting kind of right on top of you, awfully passionate. We weren't sure if they were going to boo Watts. They did that last year. I'm not too happy that she's left their squad, but they seem to have forgotten.
Van Wieren to send it into the slot. Turnbull has to Shelbin, who just gets a bit of a touch on it. Almost at the midway point of this period. 2 goals, certainly not insurmountable, but they will need 3 in a short span. A big hit from Shelton. Leslie to feed Jenner.
Shelton's thrown her weight around this game. Another big hit. That one was solid.
Shelton coming into this game, leading her team with, well, leading her team in blocks. Second to Fast in hits. Hits actually, or Fast rather, second in the league when it comes to hits. Crowd loving it right now. I mean, this is a game fully in their control. Comfort to Watts. Who could be a hero for the Sceptres? Turnbull on an angle as Comfort was driving. Harmon fires. It's high. Under 10 minutes left. Hughes gets the puck ahead for Hemp. Day. This is a Charge team as well that's been rolling a 3-game win streak. They were actually on a 3-game slide until a 2-0 win over the Sceptres. Sparked things, reminded them what they can do. So we have a player without a blade.
When you take a look at the new skates that they wear, the blades click in and out. So we've seen this a few times this year. But how about this Ella Shelton hit? As she just stops and drops, lowers the boom, a little bit of a hip check. That's kind of a lost art. You don't see that very often. And then that skate blade that's popped out. Again, we've seen it a few times this year. So if you're wondering what happens, these newer skates that the players have, a little button on the back, you can click the skate blade out. Most players will carry more than one set of blades, so if you lose an edge in a game, you just click the blade out and click the new one back in. But we've seen it a few times, and if they're not clicked in just right, obviously this is something that can happen. So the downside of it, although the upside is that as a player, you never have to play with a nick in your blade, which is an awfully nice feature.
Flanagan takes the puck into the zone. Gentry in. Sceptres trying to set up here. Can't get a hold of the puck. That one goes out of play. 8:47 to go, and it's the Charge with a 2-0 lead, looking for that final spot. 8:47 remaining. Charge up 2-0 on the Sceptres, a team that has only scored more than 2 goals in 3 road games this season. And that hasn't necessarily amounted to wins either. They will need to do something they've hardly done this season if they're going to stay alive. And now a 2-on-1. Riley and Wasnevich taken away by Fast. Up for Comfort. In comes Jesse Comfort. Comfort shoots! Stopped! Who throughout this entire season has been the only Sceptre about 50% at the dot. Fast! Pulls it off the wall, fires towards Phillips. Zanin. Picked off the puck by Hobson. Hobson, a missing piece for this charge, even though the team has managed to keep themselves in a wonderful playoff position. The only reason they were unable to clinch before today is they didn't win in regulation on Wednesday. That's how tight these games are.
They wanted to keep it interesting for us on the last day, Danielle, yesterday.
Hey, I'm here for it.
Yeah, we're all here for it.
In comes Hemp. Now Hughes. I'm sure fans will say, hey, listen. No, it makes it exciting, and fans have certainly shown up as expected for both teams in this Battle of Ontario. 7:20 to go in the third. Flanagan and Harmon. Harmon trying to get it around Cava, but Cava finds Katarova, who open scoring in this game.
Ottawa just playing a solid defensive game right now. Just 1 forechecker in, making sure they've got numbers back, and then playing for those opportunities where Toronto's pressing to see if they can get that odd player rush.
Van Weeren, loose puck, still alive. No one in the slot as Mrazova.
Katarova with a nice job on that back check. She's coming back to take a stick away. So again, when you've got numbers back, that's something you're going to be able to do.
And here's Wasnevich ready to go with a shot kick save from Kirk.
I like her when she's coming down that offside. Wasnevich, she can get to the middle of the ice. She takes it and gets that shot off. It's one of the things we haven't seen from Watts today. She's playing the left side, and she's the most effective when she's playing the right side and can step to the middle of the ice.
Jenner. Send it down. Here's Fast. Up for Comfort once more. Comfort finding space. Gets it towards the left. Loses the puck. Gets it back. Looks for the feed from Monte. Flanagan. Monte with the pop play to Comfort. Comfort. Shot wide to the short side. Watts. She scored just 1 minute and 3 seconds into this frame as well. Back-breaking as Comfort was looking for a possible redirect. Into the end boards. We saw Montreal successful by pulling their goalie early in a game. They still lost that game, however. It certainly helped with Haley Scamora in the mix. Empty net, and Peyton Hemp has it. Goes behind Hemp. Chips it in front, looking for Clark. Be a fight for this empty net goal. Of course, the fans looking for a call.
Toronto in defensive mode to make sure that that one stays out of the net and then give themselves another opportunity with 5 minutes on the clock. So desperate times call for desperate measures.
And Watts is who you want with the puck, but he's kept off it by Riley.
They have not given her a lot of time and space in this game.
Oh, and that, not quite. It will go wide. 4:44 to go. 6-on-5 Sceptres. Ella Shelton in the zone for Dalton, but there's a stick in the way. Dalton corrals the puck. Spooner's there, but she's caught up with the charge. Shelton can't hold the line. Flanagan and Vasco looking to jump on it. There's that empty net. She's got it. 3-0 for the charge, and Alexa Vasco with the empty net.
Nothing really felt stable once that goaltender came out. Toronto wasn't really able to get the puck into the offensive zone with any amount of control, and so it seemed like there was a lot of battles, a lot of bobbles, lots of opportunity for Ottawa to do just that, which Alexa Vasco does. She puts this in the empty net to make it a 3-0 lead for Ottawa. So there's still 4 minutes, 22 seconds here. It'll be interesting to see if Kirk comes back out. I gotta think she's going to, because at this point, why not? If you lose 10-0, 5-0, doesn't matter. You've got to give yourself that opportunity.
She's starting in net right now, but we'll certainly expect her to head on over as soon as they can make their way, if they make their way back into Ottawa territory. Second goal of the season for Vasco. And let's not take away the fact that the Sceptres now as well, staring down their 7th shutout loss of the season. It would be a PWHL record that nobody wants.
Frustrating too. I mean, you lose every game 6-5. People come out of those games not completely unhappy, other than maybe goaltenders. But when you're getting shut out, I don't think anyone's overly happy, and they're hard games to play, and nobody's feeling very confident. Nobody's feeling great about themselves, especially your whole forward group. So it is a hard way to lose.
3:38 to go. Empty net as we'll have the face-off.
Last year when they were in playoffs, they were chanting, "You chose us." So we'll see if that happens again, because they could be the team that is picked by the first place team.
But that was even more sensational. They were the 3rd place team last year, and they were chosen.
Nobody wanted Minnesota. They may not this year either. Reagan Kirk back out of the goal, so looking at 6-on-5 once again.
And Toronto get at least one more goal to close out the regular season. And what's likely their last game as this group. Shelton to the point. Flanagan. A team as well. Flanagan has ascended down. A team that has been without Allie Monroe. And what a loss as this puck. It's all the way down the ice, icing the goal. We're under 3 minutes remaining.
3 goals in 3 minutes, daunting task. I would think after this game, Gina Kingsbury, Troy Ryan are going to sit down, and they're going to have a lot to work out in terms of what this team's going to look like going ahead into next year. And I know there's in all likelihood another expansion, but you start to break things down and where you get your offense from. You look at this game with Ottawa, 2 of their goals coming from their draft picks.
That a timeout makes sense, and at this point, you just have to think, what can you do with that time, Becky Keller?
It's tough. Again, a team that struggled for offense, I think they got to keep doing what they have been doing, which is just throwing pucks to the net and seeing if they can get a bounce. I mean, this is not a team that we've seen a lot of high-skilled goals from this season, with maybe Daryl Watts withstanding. So it's going to have to be a little bit more of that meat and potatoes approach. And again, they've got players willing to go to the net, so they got to recover pucks anytime they lose them and get it back on goal.
Toronto had 42 shots in their last meeting against the Charge. That was the most they'd ever put on Ottawa. They're not that far off of getting there this time, maybe exceeding that, and still coming away with a potential shutout loss.
Gwyneth Phillips has been very good in this game as well.
If the stats stay as they do, Daryl Watts will have 3 straight seasons as the scoring leader on the team. They've only made the playoffs once. That would have been last season. Watts, the goal line, 6-on-5. A good stick from Gilday to disrupt. Another. Taylor House getting in.
Taylor House was all over Fast at the top.
Fast, the defender of the year last year, brings it in the zone. Feeds it to Harmon. Harmon shoots. Turnbull there. Turned around. Watts and Harmon. Can they make something happen in the slot? Comfer is covered at the point. Fast. The far side. Big hit on the boards. But Vasco's there. Can she take another to bury a second empty netter? In the final 2 minutes, there was no scoring in the first. Anusa Katarova opened things up. Rosnevich added another. And then with the empty net, Alexa Vasco, the crowd. We won playoffs. We're oh so close to solidifying that. On home ice as well. Could it be any sweeter for the Charge? Connors. And it's a foot race. Jenner once more. She gets ahead of Flanagan. Shelton. Into the near corner. Comes up the puck by Salinainen. Spooner. And find a way in fast now. We approach the final minute. That one finds Phillips. Spooner tries to put it on an angle. Dalton in front. Here's the whistle. 1:01 remaining.
Well, Toronto finally got a stick on one of those rebounds out front, but Phillips is there nice and quick down low to make that save. So Toronto going side to side, cross the line. There's a nice shot, the rebound, and then that one pops out, but Phillips gets back out to the top of the paint to make that save. So for Toronto, a lot of pucks out front. They just haven't been able to get a stick on. They finally do, and Phillips comes up with another big save. 40 shots for Toronto. We're in the final minute of play. The Sceptres knew they'd have to win in regulation to get the 3 points, to tie Ottawa in the standings and win on a tie break. Ottawa certainly had plenty of advantages, not to mention the ability to score in this game. Comfort tries to fire. Now Watts. Last time Toronto scored on Ottawa was in Calgary. Comfort. Oh, and it's kept out anyway. Phillips got a piece of it. Turnbull to Fast. Final 20 seconds. Here we go. Harmon towards the net. Pushed out. Final 10 seconds. Everyone on their feet. A battle in the zone. But the puck goes out. 3. They did it with Irwin. They're doing it for McLeod. Celebrate Ottawa. The Charge are heading back to the Walter Cup playoffs. A solid game for Ottawa, starting with their goaltender, who made some big saves early on in this one to give them the chance. Ottawa capitalizes on their scoring chances. The same issue that has plagued Toronto all season plagued them again here today, which was putting pucks in the back of the net as they get shut out once again.
4 straight wins to close out the regular season, punch their ticket, eliminate the Sceptres from playoff contention. First time Toronto won't head to the postseason. And how about this? Gwyneth Phillips, her 3rd shutout of the season, 2nd straight over Toronto, this time 41 saves, not quite 42 like the other time. Carla McLeod being shown on screen in the building as well. It's got to feel so good for this team.
I would imagine that that was a bit of incentive for them to do it for their head coach, and nice to see her. Some real emotion from Coach Carla McLeod, as I'm sure she misses being here full time so much. So nice to see that for her team. And you know, you watch this Ottawa team today, and it's going to be a very difficult decision for whoever comes in first place. How do you pick this team right now, the way they're playing, the goaltending that they're getting?
And let's not forget, Phillips was playoff MVP for a reason last season. And she is in playoff form right now. She'll be heading over to speak with our Julia Teixeira in just a moment. Of course, heartbreak for Toronto and their fans. They hope for more this season, but this is where expansion, bringing change to teams, can be an exciting thing. It's a team that is going to have a new look.
Well, it's interesting because the start of the year, we all thought it was Vancouver and Seattle were running away with this thing. If you go back to those early conversations, it was Ottawa that everyone thought was the most decimated. They were going to struggle the most this year. And here they are in a playoff position with an opportunity for the Walter Cup once again.
And they will do their surge, a fan favorite in front of the packed TD Place, a building that has been full so many times it will be full again for the playoffs. celebration for season 1 when it was Ottawa that needed a regulation win and they couldn't get it in Toronto. And of course, going over to hug head coach Carla McLeod. And they're not done yet. Ottawa joining Montreal, Boston, Minnesota in the postseason. Still unsure of the final order. We know Minnesota will be 3rd, Ottawa 4th, but who will be 1st and 2nd? That will determine, of course, who plays who. But still, in this moment, Ottawa has to be so proud of this team.
2 years in a row, the team that eked into 4th place won the Walter Cup, so there may be something to that as well, as Ottawa has secured their place as that 4th place team. And of course, Michaela Cava, who seems to win on every team she's on, maybe a little bit of a good luck charm for this Ottawa team as well, but they're looking to be in a really good spot going into playoffs. Sometimes you want this. You want to struggle on that stretch going into playoffs because you're battle tested. It's like you've been in playoffs for the last 2 weeks. So they're in a really good spot.
Of course, the crowd reacting to seeing McLeod on the bench. Honestly, been away from the rink, away from her duties as she receives treatment for her breast cancer diagnosis, which was announced publicly just before the new year. And this team has certainly come a long way. GM Mike Hirschfeld is now addressing the crowd.
And these coaches, what a great effort this afternoon. We say it all the time, but we have the best fans in the PWHL. We can't thank you enough for all your support. We had over 100,000 fans attend our games this season. So hats off to you. And now we're excited for the playoffs, and we've got some big challenges ahead to win the Walter Cup. So we're going to need all of your support. So we're excited to see you out as we chase the Walter Cup, and wish us good luck in the playoffs. We need you behind us.
Mike Hirschfeld, the GM of the Ottawa Charge from day one, taking in this moment here as they head to the playoffs for the second straight. And we'll head down now to ice level with Julia Desherry and the 41 save shutout earned by Gwyneth Phillips.
Gwen, a 41 save shutout. You had those 2 insane grade A chances you had to see about a minute into the game. How did you lock in so well before this one?
Honestly, I just put my faith in my teammates here. I mean, I knew we were going to come out with this one. We all just did it for each other, and that's what got me going.
You have the best perspective. What do you see for your team when you see the way they're defending you?
I mean, we are playing really good hockey right now, and it's really exciting to see just the effort and the execution that's going on right now. I'm looking forward to the rest of the playoffs.
And then the game ends, you win, and Coach Carla on the bench. Can you walk me through those emotions?
Yeah, it's great to see her. She's such a beacon of strength for us. Even when she can't be here all the time, she comes as much as she can, and I know it's really motivating for us to see just what a strong woman she is and what she can do, and she's always behind us, even when she's not here physically.
I know there's a few things that have to happen before we get there, but you went all the way to the Walter Cup finals last year. How hungry is this Ottawa team for redemption?
I mean, I think you just saw in this game, we weren't ranked too high a lot of times, but, we've got the girls in the locker room to do it, and we're excited.
Okay, you enjoy this moment. Thank you very much.
Thank you.